inadequate. And that's what Satan wants your child to feel, inadequate. And then your Satan and his minions, make your child, especially your boys, to feel inadequate, silly, even stupid. It's intentionally done. It gives you really good information, but your kids are too young to understand it. And so they end up hating things that are beautiful. They don't even want to talk about mathematics. They don't want to talk about the structure of the atom. They don't want to talk about the distance between the sun and the earth. They don't want to talk about these fantastic things. The Pyramid of Egypt, all of these things, the fires of Moloch, are there to burn your children's minds. Overwhelm them with so much homework. Just give them work. So much work that they can't even get it done. They can't even think. And their minds are so burned out, then they only have one other choice, and that's to turn the TV on so they can zone out. So you see your kids zoning out in front of this TV. They just want to rest. Their poor little minds, they just need a rest. But then they're watching TV, and it's more of the fires of Moloch. More of these lies are getting put into these kids. There used to be a time where, there was, John Wayne, like heroic type figures, but those don't even exist anymore. Anywhere, on any TV, any movies, any of that stuff. It's all just putrid swill. And then, it goes on and on. You yourself were a kid, and you hated school. You hated it. Especially us as men and boys. We hated school. We didn't like it at all. But then what do? We grow up, we have kids, and then we send our own kids to school. Even though we know how much we hated it, why do you send your children to such a place that hates your children? They hate your children. Especially the boys. Especially the boys. Especially the boys. Then there's these women. They're so angry with boys and men. They're so angry that they cannot be a man. They've rejected their natural functions, these women. That they take a great hand and a great part in burning these boys. They say these boys are not acting like girls, so what do? You go to the sorcerer and you get medications. Get these medications to make these boys be girls. You can't stand the fact that boys might grow up to be men, so you put them on medications. You don't even allow them to be boys. Boys are not girls. Boys are boys. And if you, as a parent, have any love for your child, you'll help your sons grow to be men, and you won't oppress them. You even put your kids on drugs to try to burn the boy out of them. The fires of Moloch. How can you do such a thing to your own children? Especially the boys. Boys want to grow up and be a man. Boys don't want to grow up and be a girl. Only women that have rejected their natural functions want boys to grow up and be a man, and be a woman. Outrageous. The fires of Moloch. Yeah, you want to burn the world's philosophies into your son or daughter? There's a reality about dealing with the world, though. So you got to be careful how you're going to handle these situations. You've got to be careful. The world, the people in the world are like pigs. If you've ever seen pigs, they have a big nose and it's strong. And they use it for digging. And digging around the roots and digging around and digging around the roots and digging around because they want to find anything that is of value. Anything that can give them nutrition. They'll happily eat your children. The truth is precious. And it's a tricky thing. But if you have something precious, don't you lock it up? If you have something precious and of value, don't you hide it? Hide your knowledge. Let it grow. Yeah, in public, you know. Do you remember the parable of the sower of the seed? You should probably reread it. But remember how Jesus said that some will produce 20-fold, 50-fold, even 100-fold. I'm not the only one who can see that. The mentally poor can see that as well. They do not want that type of harvest. So they want to destroy that type of a harvest. How do they destroy that type of a harvest without it looking like they destroyed it? Remember, the river that comes out of the world is lukewarm. Consider a rod, a steel rod, a great thick steel rod. As it is being heated, it becomes hot, and then it's glowing red hot to the point that the whole thing is ready to be worked and shaped and molded. If you put that red hot rod inside of lukewarm water, you may be under the delusion that you are going to heat that water up. The only thing that you're going to accomplish, no matter how impressive, no matter how large that rod is, and no matter how much heat is stored within it, the rod will go into the water, and at first it will cause the water that is lukewarm to boil. Then the water will bubble. Then that water will steam. And then, after a time, that rod that was so impressive and so ready to be shaped and molded and used for good purpose will have been cooled to the same temperature as that lukewarm river. The Bible addresses this topic, but I want to try to put it in a little bit more clearer terms. What the mentally poor do is they search and they seek and they look. And when they see one coming up that has the potential of producing a good harvest, they want to cool that particular rod. So what they do is they invite him or a group of kids that have this potential, and they will shower those kids with awards. They may get honorable mention in the newspaper or even on national television. There may be even promises made of a job later on. They know what they're doing. They have intention and they have purpose. One of the conversations that they will have with those type of kids is they will say, you know, your ideas are you're clearly a very smart young man. You've got some really, your ideas are a little bit hard to digest, but you clearly are a very smart man. Here's an award. I think we should talk. Let's talk some more. Can we talk? Let's get together and talk. And they fill these kids with flattery in order to build them up with flattery. A flattery that they're not old enough or mature enough to understand this is flattery. And the kid goes home with his plastic banana award, and he thinks things that he shouldn't be thinking. He's still a kid and he still has maturing to do, but he clearly has potential. Consider it. I don't think I want to spend any time on the obscenity of charitable giving, nor do I want to talk about the lunacy of sacrificing your children's bodies on the altar of high school sports. Those two topics, I think, are self-explanatory. The Bible gives a lot of warnings. Be careful. Don't become angry. Don't engage in useless arguments with the mentally poor. That's the trap, to suck you in, to get you to talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Oh, let's talk about it. Oh, let's talk about it. It's only a trap to suck the energy and life out of you. Be wise. Learn how to manage these situations. So long as it is up to you, be at peace with all men. So long as it is up to you. Be wise. Protect the crown.